Welcome, everybody, to the Buying in 2024 info session. Essentially, this session is for anyone who is thinking about making a real estate decision in 2024. It's really geared towards anyone looking to make a real estate purchase. It will be a good introductory for the first-time home buyers who have never purchased a home before. And then it will also be a very good refresher for those who maybe haven't made a purchase in a few years and are thinking about selling and buying and making that transition. Or maybe you're an investor and you're looking to extend your portfolio. This would be a great info session for you as well. It will be short and sweet and to the point because everybody's time is valuable. My intention for this session is essentially to bring value to you, value in which you can actually use to navigate through your real estate journey this year. So this is relevant to today, February 6th, 2024. I can't even believe we're in February already. This is crazy. Usually January goes by really, really slow, but it seemed to kind of fly by this year so far. I do want to do a few housekeeping things. When you see on one of the slides an R, a golden R with a circle around it, that is a resource that I have available to you to utilize. I'm happy to share these resources with you. At the end, I will tell you how to get that resource. And as well, because this is a live session, I do want to offer the opportunity for you to pop in and ask questions. If you have questions, I will do my best to answer them as good as I can. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to disappear off this screen and we are going to get right to it. So buying in 2024, this is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about me. I'm going to talk about the predictions I have for 2024, the real estate market. We're going to talk about terms and language because a lot of people don't actually know and understand what exactly the terms mean, and some of the lingo, they have no idea what it means, and rightfully so. I mean, if you're not a realtor or you're not doing real estate transactions on a regular basis, I don't expect you to understand the terms and language. Then we're going to look at the buying process kind of as a whole and kind of simplify it for you so that you can understand visually kind of how the process goes. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the financial and the mortgage side. As you know, I'm not a professional mortgage broker or mortgage professional. However, I have reached out to a couple of the professionals that I do work with, and I am going to share some of the tips that they have offered me to share to you today. We're going to talk about where you're headed, location-wise, who you need by your side during the real estate process, and my role and my promise to you. So starting with me, I've been in real estate since 2014. I have dedicated myself to the real estate industry, bringing over a decade, it'll be a decade in August, of experience to the table. In this time, I've had the privilege of transforming the lives of hundreds of people and families through the intricate art of buying and selling homes. And it really, truly is a very intricate art, I will say. Each transaction is more than a mere exchange. It's an opportunity to positively impact lives, crafting stories of new beginnings and fulfilled dreams. For me, it is not about a transaction. It's not about how many houses can I sell. For me, it's about how many people's lives can I impact. I'm passionately committed to educating individuals on making outstanding real estate choices that align perfectly with your unique story and aspirations. Consider me not just a realtor, but a bridge, the vital link that seamlessly connects your current situation with the future home of your dreams. With me, it's not just about transactions, It's about transforming your vision into reality. So essentially, I take this seriously. And over the last couple of years, I've realized how important it is to educate the consumer, educate the buyer and the seller on the process to ensure that they are making well-informed decisions and decisions that they will not regret down the road. It's very, very important to me that those that I work with and have the privilege of helping come back to me when they're ready to buy another house or to sell their current home and move on to another home. And I also want you to enjoy me so much that you're sharing me with your friends and family because you see me as a valuable tool when it comes to the real estate industry. So there's 4 key values that I consider very important to me. And I know this is kind of the boring stuff, but I need you to know who I am a little bit so that you can just see where I'm coming from. So integrity is very important to me. It's the cornerstone of my practice. I believe in absolute honesty and transparency in every transaction, ensuring that each client is treated with the utmost respect and fairness. Some people, I sometimes think that I'm too honest to a default, but that's really not a bad thing. I am always upfront, honest, and I'll be honest with you, I've lost a lot of real estate deals in past years because what I told the client was what they needed to hear as opposed to what they wanted to hear. And I'm not the agent that's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's just part of who I am. Excellence for me means consistently exceeding expectations with a world-class experience. I focus on delivering unparalleled expertise and meticulous attention to every detail, transforming each real estate transaction into an extraordinary and memorable journey for my clients. I want this experience to be an enjoyable one for you. I don't want it to be one that you have bad memories about. I know that there's lots of horror stories out there with people who have had unpleasant experiences with realtors, and it's my obligation as a world-class professional to ensure that the excellence is in place. Collaboration is key in my approach, where I work closely with clients to understand and fulfill their unique needs. By combining your vision with my expertise, we create a successful real estate outcome that truly reflects your aspirations. So I have a team of professionals that I work with on a regular basis, and each scenario and each situation is always different. Sometimes, if you need if you need a mortgage broker, I will essentially match you with one who I feel is the best fit for you personally. I won't just throw one person and think that one person suits all. That's not how I collaborate with other people. It's important to me to ensure that the right people are helping you along the way because I'm putting my neck out on the line for them as well. So I want to make sure that collectively your experience is good. And whether I refer you to somebody, it still is kind of a part of me. I see it as. And then innovation. Innovation drives my approach to real estate, constantly embracing new methods and technologies to provide cutting edge solutions. This forward thinking mindset ensures that my clients benefit from the most efficient, creative, and effective strategies in the market. I'm part of a world class, top notch real estate brokerage, which is eXp Realty. We are the fastest, most agent centric brokerage in the world, and we're growing rapidly. And so the innovation side of eXp has been a huge privilege to have an opportunity to work with and have access to. So innovation is always important because you always want the newest and best technology working for you during your transaction. So there are some predictions that I have for 2024. I don't believe in, setting anything in stone, but I do feel as though these 3 concepts are kind of what I think is going to happen. So I do believe that our market will stabilize and there will be moderate growth. Values will increase as interest rates decrease because there's more buyers out there shopping when the interest rate decreases. So technically speaking, if you're a buyer right now and you're waiting for that interest rate to drop, it's actually more in your favor to try and buy before that interest rate drop happens, because as soon as the interest rate drops, everybody and their dog are going to open the floodgates and everyone's going to start shopping, which in turn makes the prices of homes inflate. So if you can afford to buy now is my suggestion for you. Not to say that once the interest rates drop, it's going to be a bad thing. It will also be a good thing. But I do feel as though our market will stabilize and we will see moderate growth in home values. We are likely going to see a steady but slow decrease in interest rates. The Bank of Canada just recently announced that they were holding back in January, and it was held at that 5% rate. So we will likely see rates decrease at some point this year. My guess is they might make a decrease in March, or maybe the next one after the March one. I'm not too sure, but I do feel as though we have it coming. It's coming down the pipeline. And increase in market activity due to pre and post pandemic home purchases. This is something that I don't find very many realtors are really talking about. And I will be doing other sessions on this, because if you're anything like me, and if you purchased during the pre or post pandemic market, you've probably locked in at a very decent rate. As some of you have heard me talk about, we were able to lock in our mortgage at 1.84% back in December of 2020, which is an excellent rate. Obviously, rates are a lot different than that now. So we, are coming up for a renewal next December. And there's going to be a lot of activity, I think, due to this, because some people, the increase in rates may impact their affordability, and it may impact how they can, afford their mortgage and afford their quality of life and their everyday living. So I do think that we will see an increase in market activity due to that. I think we will see some sales, more sales than we have in the last couple of years. And then also we have the inevitable, new home buyers that are coming into the market. We always have our downsizers and our baby boomers. We have deaths and divorces that continue to happen as usual. So that is going to continue. The real estate market's going to stay strong, in my opinion. So let's talk a little bit about terms and language. So it's important to understand, but more importantly, asking questions when you don't understand or you need clarity on these words or these phrases, or it's really important that you ask questions or ask your realtor, what does this mean? Or your mortgage person, what does this mean? And we'll just go through a couple of them, just because these are the most popular ones that I find people struggle with. So a mortgage pre-approval. So this is a lender's preliminary assessment of a buyer's ability to borrow a specific amount. It's based on their credit score, their income, and their debts. Understanding this helps buyers know how much they can afford. Now, if you've gone online and you've popped into some app or something, and you've put in your income and it's popped out to you a pre-approval amount, please don't take that as a true pre-approval. Make sure you get an accurate pre-approval in place, which means your lender has your most current pay information, your credit bureau has been checked, your down payment is in place. If you're self-employed, the income details have been confirmed. This has all been discussed with your mortgage professional. It's really important that you do this, because if not, it's not a true pre-approval, and it will make your life a bit of a living hell, to be honest with you. If you have been auto-populated some pre-approval and then you start house shopping and then put offers in, and that's when it becomes a big issue. So just make sure that your mortgage pre-approval is true and accurate, which means you're talking with a mortgage professional, whether that be a bank or a broker. An appraisal is an expert estimate of the value of a property. This is often required by lenders before they approve a mortgage to ensure the property is worth the loan amount. So oftentimes who you're getting your mortgage through will often ask for an appraisal to be done just to connect the dots and make sure that what you're paying is accurate and is relevant to the market. Conditions. So these are put in place by the buyer and the realtor to allow the buyer to conduct their due diligence to ensure they are satisfied with the purchase before they go firm. Firm, I guess maybe I should have put that in there too. Firm means essentially you have purchased that house, you just don't have keys yet. So when you firm up your deal, that means you have purchased that house. Title insurance. This insurance protects buyers and lenders from potential problems with a property's title, such as liens or ownership disputes. So if you're purchasing a property and that current homeowner has a lien against the property, it's not going to stop you from taking ownership of that home. Land transfer tax. This is a big one that comes up a lot of times. And this is, I always say, this is a mortgage question because they have their charts and everything that can tell you exactly how much land transfer tax you will pay. As a buyer, it's your responsibility to pay land transfer tax and is transferred when it's transferred to you. The amounts vary based on location and everything to do with the property. So that is something that you will be responsible for. As a first-time home buyer, there are incentives in place. Again, that is a mortgage person question because I do not know all of those incentives. It's very hard for me to keep in touch and keep track of all of the new incentives that come into play. Home inspection. This is an examination of a property's condition, usually performed by a qualified home inspector. And as asterisk that, I really would hope that you would be getting somebody who's qualified, not mom, not dad, not uncle, aunt Lonnie, not aunt Amy. You have to get a qualified inspector. Just because your mom and dad or family member has been around homes their whole life does not necessarily mean that they are looking at the right things. You really need a professional perspective on that. And this would happen hopefully before you finalize the sale of your home. It can reveal issues that could affect the home's value or safety, which in turn, if you do the home inspection prior to firming up, you can sometimes negotiate that back to the current homeowner and say, look, there's some issues here. We would like to negotiate based on, this issue. It's going to cost $30,000 or $50,000 to fix. In turn, we will continue this purchase, but we want you to adjust the price accordingly. That is an absolute can do. You can absolutely go back when you have conditions in place and renegotiate if there are things that are not satisfactory to you as the buyer. And due diligence is the context of real estate referring to the thorough and careful effort of a buyer undertaking and ensuring that all aspects of a property and its transaction are in order. So this is, as from a buyer's perspective, this is you making sure that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, your home inspections are done, and you're satisfied with that, because once that home goes firm, your due diligence essentially is cut off at that point, and you're going to be stuck with the issues after the fact if you do not deal with them prior to taking ownership. That is a very, very important point to make sure that you understand, because I've had many situations, and probably a handful of situations where, for example, I was selling a client's home and the buyers were in competition and they waived their home inspection clause or condition. And after taking ownership of the home, they decided to do a home inspection, and they did find deficiencies in the home. And they did try and come back at the seller and say, we want you to pay for this discrepancy or this, deficiency. And unfortunately, they did not have a leg to stand on because they made that choice to take that out of the offer prior to their ownership. So it's really important that due diligence comes into play. It's due diligence from a buyer standpoint is your friend and your realtor, provided you have a good, caring realtor. They will make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's and making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. So when we look at the process at a glance, really it can be summed up in these six scenarios. So first things first, you're going to get your pre-approval. If you don't have your pre-approval, it's kind of like going grocery shopping without your debit card or cash. You're not going to be able to buy the groceries if you don't have the cash to buy the groceries. So you need to make sure that that pre-approval is in place and it's clear and understood, and you know exactly what you are capable of approving or capable of what's the word I'm trying to think of? You're capable of affording it. Sorry. And then you're going to secure a world-class realtor, whether that be me or somebody you know. Just make sure that they are somebody that you feel in your gut is the right fit for you. I'm not here to sell myself on me being your realtor, but just secure a realtor who you know is going to have your back through the entire process. Then what you're going to do is you're going to start your home search. So once you know what you can afford, then you can actually start looking at homes. I would recommend that you're looking at homes within that pre-approval amount. In some cases, you can sometimes negotiate price down, but it's always good not to get your hopes up too high, because if you look at a home that's above your price point and you fall in love with it, it's going to hurt your heart if you can't afford a house that you've fallen in love with that you can't afford. And then once you do find that home that you fall in love with and you want to pursue, then you're going to go through the offer process. You'll submit an offer. You will probably negotiate until you come to an agreement on the price and conditions. Then you're going to conduct all of your due diligence through your conditions. So for example, you're going to do your home inspection, you're going to have your financing pre-approval, you're going to do all of those things, and then you're going to essentially, once all of your due diligence has been completed and you're happy and satisfied with everything, then you can remove those conditions, which then is what becomes a firm and binding deal, which means essentially you now own that house. It's just a matter of time before you get keys and can take ownership. Then your mortgage is going to wrap up and you're going to go through the closing process, which will include your mortgage being completely finalized. And you're going to be working with a lawyer as well. In Ontario, it's unfortunate. However, we need to use a lawyer to be able to go through this process. I know I've got some really great people that I know in the States. It's not the same process there, but in Ontario, you need of course you need a realtor, but you also need a lawyer to ensure that all of the closing process happens smoothly for you. And then essentially you're going to take ownership of your new home. So that is kind of the process at a glance. I know it's pretty short and sweet, but really at a glance, it is a very easy process. You just have to make sure that everything is happening, with all of the right people in place. So here we are with another little golden R. So I do have a resource available to you here. So we're going to talk about the financial mortgage side for a second. And I want you to know that I do have a resource for you to actually do a pre-approval application. If you have not done one and you want to know what you can afford, then I have a resource available to you for that. So with the financial aspect of things, that's your first step, is to get a pre-approval in place. Like I said, you can't really go grocery shopping without the money or without your debit card. So you need to know exactly what you can afford. And then what you're going to do is you're going to review your formal approval with your mortgage professional. They're going to discuss affordability, and then you're going to determine what purchase price you feel comfortable pursuing. But in reality, you're not marrying the purchase price, you're marrying the mortgage payment. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with that mortgage payment, with the potential of fluctuation in maybe your job or whatever. Your mortgage payment is going to be the same, probably for at least 5 years, unless you do like a 1 or 2 or whatever year mortgage. But most of the time people do a 5-year mortgage. So you're going to be stuck with that payment for a couple of years probably. So just make sure that you're comfortable with that purchase price and then the payment that comes along with that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start house hunting like we had already discussed. Okay, so where are you headed? So understanding where you want to purchase a home and knowing the limits of your home search are critical elements in your home buying process. The location of your new home not only influences your daily lifestyle, affecting your commute, your access to amenities, schools, and community culture, but it also plays a significant role in the home's long-term value. Setting clear geographic preferences helps to streamline the search process and focus on areas that truly meet your needs and desires. Additionally, being aware of your search limits, including budget constraints and property requirements, prevents time wastage on unsuitable listings and ensures a more effective or efficient targeted approach. Knowing where to look and what you can realistically afford is the first step towards making an informed and satisfying home purchase. It is really important that you know where exactly you want to go. Now, I get if you don't know specifically the neighborhood that you want to go, that's not really what I'm talking about. It's more of a geographical standpoint. Have your realtor kind of analyze, what you're looking for and what your price point is, and maybe they can pinpoint, the best options for you. I do have another resource here available, and it's an ideal neighborhood quiz. So you can actually put in where you work, how many kilometers within your work you would like to be, a bunch of things like that. And what it will do is it will populate an ideal neighborhood for you. This is actually a really cool tool for you to utilize. And I do have that available to you if you do want to take advantage of using that and testing that out. So who do you need by your side through the entire process? You need a realtor, someone you know, like, and trust. As I mentioned before, it really sometimes is a gut feeling. If your aunt recommended their realtor and you meet with them and it's just something seems off or you're not super aligned with that person, I would get a second or even maybe a third opinion. Maybe interview 2 or 3 realtors just to see who seems to be the best fit for you. At the end of the day, I think your gut is the best one to tell you who to go with. You're also going to need a mortgage professional. Do not think that you need to be stuck with your bank. Just because you've banked with one of the big 5 banks for, 20 years or 30 years, that does not mean that you are stuck with them to get a mortgage. I highly recommend that you do shop around for a mortgage professional. Number one, because there are other options out there that, your bank may not be offering you. So shop around, negotiate a little bit, because your bank may be saying, yeah, we can offer you this rate and such, but a mortgage broker who's not with a bank may be able to actually offer you something different and better. And this over time could be substantial savings to you if you do choose to shop around. Just do your due diligence. That's part of how it goes. And making sure that these people that are in place will help you long term. They will always be there for you when you need advice. And then you also need a lawyer. If you don't, a lot of people, don't have a lawyer because they haven't really needed one, or maybe they've had one to do a will or something, but they don't have a real estate lawyer. Ask the people that you do know, like, and trust, and ask them for their advice. Again, you can do the same process. You can meet with a couple, speak with a couple, and kind of make your decision from that point. So my role and my promise as your realtor and a leader in transforming real estate experiences, I am committed to exceeding your expectations and providing a world-class service. My role extends beyond guiding and advising. It's about being your advocate and partner in achieving your real estate dreams. With in-depth local market knowledge and a focus on your unique needs, I ensure a seamless, personalized journey leading you confidently from your real estate dreams and to making them your reality. It really is a curated experience completely to you. It's a very personal experience. Everybody's situations are different. Everybody's life is different. So it's my promise to you that we will sit down and talk about what it is that your vision is, and then we will move in the direction of your dreams in the best suitable way possible for you. These are just a couple of testimonies that I've had buyers write for me. You can check all of these out on Google. If you just Google Michelle Ellis, real estate sales representative, you will see a good amount of Google reviews just talking about their experience with me. And so that's kind of it. I know we are over the 30-minute mark, but I do think that this information is very vital for anybody looking to purchase this year in 2024. And it is important information that you need to know because, I mean, if you don't know these little hacks and tidbits of information, it may cause some heartache in the process. And I would like to see you well informed prior to making the leap. It's important to me to help people to make really well informed decisions and have no regrets. That's my main focus, is that you no regret real estate decisions, essentially, and ones that you're going to be very, very happy with long term. So I am always here for you. If you do want the resources, you can text links to 613-704-0699, and that'll give you access to all of the resources mentioned in this presentation. It will be good information for you, and so that will be all there for you when you do send that link, or when you do text that code to the phone number. You will get that right away. There's no wait time. You'll have it accessible right away. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to educate you, regardless of whether you're going to use me as a realtor or not. I do think that you have to have somebody by your side that's trustworthy, and that is definitely something you can trust in me about. So you can reach out to me during any time. My information is on the screen there. And I wish you all the best in your real estate journey this year or in the years to come. And we'll be in touch, and stay in touch with me, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.